Crusher!
He's trying to guide believers to what he truly thinks is right. He's reading from a manuscript of scientific law. Throw away the red flag, you don't need it anymore. Tree crusher, the lord of non-belief. If he can't prove it, no one's hanging ready for the brief. A dead day is skeptic, we all know what that means. He's lurking in the shadows and crushing all your dreams. Going to land. Don't believe in cryptids that leave footprints in the sand. Don't believe in spirits appearing from the dead. The only demons out there are living in your head. Dream crusher, the lord of non-belief. If you can't prove it, no one can get ready for the breeze. We all know what that means. He's lurking in the shadows and crushing all your dreams. Dream crusher, the lord of non-belief. If you can't prove it, no one can get ready for the breeze. We all know what that means.
Hello, everybody! It's Friday night. Holy shit. We're doing another show. We actually have a guest tonight because I scheduled this whole thing for an open mic night, and then I reached out to somebody and I said, oh shit, hey, I reached out to Joe Vitale and said, hey, are you busy? You want to come on and talk about, that recent investigation video and stuff like that you did? And he said yes. So he's in the background. He's waiting to come on. So first, I want to say hi to everybody. I do want to say that Donna is not here tonight. She wasn't feeling good earlier. So I got the message, and obscure reference, man, don't be mad at me that I didn't call you. But I got the message from Donna, and Eric happened to be here. Eric behind the wall happened to be right in front of me. So I asked him, and he wanted some practice. I thought it would be good for practice. So he's off to the side. Say hi, Eric.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday.
Yes. So Eric behind the wall is not behind the wall. He's Eric off to the side.
They let me out from behind the wall. Watch out, Tim.
See, hold on. There he is. All right. So let's see. Let's say hi to some people. We got John without an H is in there. I got Pinky's Art and Music, who did an awesome song for me. And we're going to be playing it later on tonight. We got Mystic Meemaw, Raw Side Paranormal, PM's. I'm going to screw this one up. PMC Laroth. I know I screwed that one up. I'm sorry. We got Cat Mac. Oh, it's date night. We got Rob Linklater. Caroline Saxby. We got carburetors and coffee. Oh my God, where the fuck have you been? It's been a while. I owe you something. I think I owe you a prize from like way back. You won something, and I don't know if I ever did we ever connect on that? I don't know. I swear you won something, and I need to get it out to you, but I have no idea what it was. So if you go to, let me see the banners here. Go to this email, send me an email, and I will I'll ship you out something because I swear that I owe you something. Amy's here. Hello, Amy. Let's see what else we got. I'm thrown off by seeing that name. I was like, oh, Laura B23 is in the house. Pomp's here. Hey, Pomp. What is that? Tom O'Shanter. Am I getting that right? I hope I am. Oh, Sarah Bowman is in the house. We got a lot of people in the house. Wow, that's pretty cool. Obscure Reference Man is in the house. I haven't seen him comment. He must be mad. Let's see. Can you go? How are you? Can you look into? Oh, okay. That's a question for later. Okay. All right. So with that, let me get the banner off here, and then we'll go to the rules. I gotta find where we're. Oh, there they are. The rules. Rule number 1 is that you are encouraged to ask questions. That's what the show is about. It's about. I'm off center. This is screwing me up again. Okay, there we go. Much better. You are encouraged to ask questions. It's a learning show. We encourage people to learn, to ask questions, to understand better. So don't be afraid to ask questions. With that in mind, start your questions with a capital Q when you put it in the chat. That way it helps Eric on the side pick it out from the rest of the questions and comments and stuff. Actually, from the comments, not the questions. But puts them in a queue so that we can get to them later. In this case, since we have a guest, it is going to be me and Joe that's going to be talking for the first hour, and then we're going to put up all the viewer questions in the second hour. Rule number 3 is that we don't know everything. Keep that in mind. You might ask a question, and neither of us might not be able to provide an answer, and that's okay. We might be able to look it up, but if we can't, and it takes more time, we might write it down in a notebook, or we might have to just say, I don't know, because we really don't have an answer. Rule number 4 is that we follow the Patrick Swayze rule here, and that's be nice. Because if you can be in the chat room and you can discuss things, you can debate, you can disagree. That's cool. We're all about that. It's when you devolve into name calling or just being really nasty to anyone, then you're going to get booted. And Eric on the side here has the power to boot your ass out of here. And we have no idea how to get you back, nor do we really care. So with that in mind, rule number 5 is drink up, participate, learn, and have fun. I like how I still have Donna right here, even though she's not here. Poke, poke, poke. Squinch your head, squinch your head, squinch your head. I hope she's not watching. Anyway, did the chat stop? Or did I?
It appears to.
I don't know. Like, is it frozen or just nobody's commenting? Maybe.
No, I'm seeing things on YouTube here on my other screen.
Oh, okay. Maybe I gotta. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, nothing coming through. I got Amy as the last comment from Facebook. So, hopefully that gets fixed. Anyway, so let's. Am I still broadcasting? Yeah, just making sure. Somebody comment, and let me make sure that we're still broadcasting. Because that'll suck. You're getting other stuff on
So
YouTube?
I have YouTube open on my other screen, and their comments are flowing in.
Oh,
We're getting nothing on StreamYard.
well, that sucks. I'm gonna have to. Let me see. Maybe I'll open another screen so that I can see too. That sucks. You know what? I blame Joe Fatelli. I totally blame him for doing this because I see your arms going up in the background. It's all your fault, bitch. We were doing fine until you got on. All right. With that said, I'm going. Oh, wait. I see Facebook. John Michael just commented. That's interesting. All right. That's going to suck.
People are saying in YouTube that the chat froze.
Oh, okay. So the chat froze for them. So maybe it's YouTube and not us. I hope. All right. So we'll see what happens. If it doesn't get fixed in a couple minutes, maybe we'll try to figure something out. Maybe we'll wait. I know. Oh my God. John Michael owns the chat.
Watch out.
That's not good. That is not good. Oh, wait.
Oh, here they come.
Here they come. Oh, shit. Oh my God. We just got flooded. Oh my God. We got flooded with comments. Oh, I'm going to go up.
Members here.
Oh, we got one. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, fantastic publishing, Sarah, member for 1 month. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That is great. Thank you so much. Woo. Oh, and Pinky's Art and Music member for 6 months. Ooh, you are fun. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We had a good members only live the other day. I think yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I was in here and I was supposed to be working, but I went live instead. All right, so I think that's fixed. On chat box screen. All right, everything looks like it's okay. So I'm going to bring Joe on, and we're just gonna get into this. So here we go. Hey there.
Hey.
What's going on, bitch? I don't know what it is. I've never had that problem before. Only when you come on.
I blame Beardo. It's always Beardo's fault.
It's always his fault. It's always. Ooh, Kit Ford. Look at that. Member for 17 months. Thank you, Kit. That's awesome. You're putting an investment in there. Like you're committed. That's almost 2 years. I'm shit. Now I got to do this. I got to do this for 17 more months. Oh my god. All right. So, Joe, talk to me. You've been on this before. I think you've come on with like panel discussions. You've jumped on once in a while.
Yep.
So you're not like a new person. But you recently, and I say recently, say like, for the last like a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah, something like
It's been
that.
a while. You have had an issue. You went to a certain location and you did your investigation. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you had some issues just scheduling it in the first place. And then you had some issues. And then afterwards, you had a lot more issues that developed into something pretty serious. And then it was partially resolved. All right, so I'll stop the cryptic stuff and just let you start talking about it. You have the floor. You have the calm. Go ahead.
All right, so May 2024, we went to the Haunted Hill House. And scheduling wasn't necessarily the issue. If anything was an issue, it was like, man, if we're going to drive all the way down there, I don't want to do just one night.
Right.
Like, 2 nights at least.
How long of a drive?
Well, I'm in Bristol, Tennessee. That's the east side of Tennessee. 14 hours, 13, 14 hours.
Yeah. You definitely
Right.
want to do more than one night.
Right. So we ended up doing 3 nights.
Okay.
Like, don't know how, it just worked out that way. Which was cool because, for one, it was on Dawn's bucket list. She wanted to go. And then eventually Matt, he had actually got a hold of me. He's like, hey, check out this video. It's from this place called Haunted Hill House. And it shows this lady coming off of a bed. He's like, I think I want to do a documentary there. I said, well, we're going. I'll talk to the owners and just see what happens,
Okay.
We wouldn't have been able to do it until late 2025 or this year, sometime this year anyways. Because Matt, he was in the Marines. Matt's now out of the Marines, and now we're like full steam ahead on projects. We invited Dawson Toller. We love Dawson.
Let me interrupt you real quick. Julienne 1-1. Thank you for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Are you seeing that? I don't even see that. All right. My StreamYard's messed up. I don't know what's going on. I'm not seeing that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Apparently, people have been having issues, but it's more of a YouTube thing than StreamYard. All right. So now we're on our way. And I don't know, about middle of the way there, I started getting messages from other people who have investigated the Haunted Hill House. I'm like, hey, look, it's cool you're going there, but the history can't be verified. They also believe that the house may have been rigged and things like that.
Okay.
Here's the thing. A lot of people will say that about locations, even though the locations don't have anything rigged. Oh, it's rigged because they think it is.
Right.
And they throw it out there like it's fact. And it also has to do with like people being pissed off at a location for whatever reason. They have an issue with it, so they just throw stuff out there, try to cause harm to the location. So I started getting a little worried. I didn't say anything to Dawn because I knew Dawn, she wanted to go there. I know that our viewers, they really wanted us to go there. And we went to the library the day that we were supposed to go to the Haunted Hill House. It was closed down. Water main break. We wanted to go to Historical Society. Didn't have time. So we met up with Dawson, went to the house. Honestly, the owners were nice. They were the nicest people ever. We went through the waiver, stuff like that, paid, and then here's where things started to come crashing, basically, for me. About 10, 15 minutes into the tour, I had enough. Everything, every room had a story, had a haunting. A lot of the, damn near every item in the house had a story that it was haunted. Dolls or just whatever. And it was funny because Dawson had said, he's like, dude, I knew, like, however many minutes into that tour, you were done, you had enough. But I was aggravated with the stories that we were being told. And the reason why I was aggravated because it didn't add up. Like the timeline and all these other things that we were told like didn't add up. For example, we were told, the house was used as a makeshift hospital during the Spanish flu. Wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense because this person passed away well before the Spanish flu. And there were other things that were being told that just it didn't line up with the stories and the years and things like that went on. That was like a 2.5, almost 3 hour freaking tour.
Okay. Wow.
You ain't shitting.
Yeah. So like if you get in there, so you're staying overnight at the place, right? Okay. Yeah. So they're cutting in 2 or 3 hours into your time there. And that's usually like, that's a lot of time. That's time to set up everything,
exactly,
get coordinated, and figure out what everyone wants to do. So yeah, that's a lot,
And it was, and so this is my opinion. I feel like we were being bombarded with information, so it would confuse us. So we couldn't remember a lot of what was said.
Right.
The information overload. So we couldn't like keep anything straight. So it's like designed that way. That's my opinion anyways. Because by the time we were done the tour, I'm like, I don't even remember half of this stuff. Like
sometimes I've been on tours like that, and it does seem that the tactic, the purpose of speaking fast, of talking, giving you all the history, and they say it so fast and so rehearsed is for that. So you are a couple things, like you're primed once, because if something sticks out of you, if you hear something like a particular story and it is really interesting to you, somebody else in your group might hear another part of the story and think, oh, well, that's really cool to me, and remember that. But it primes you for what to expect or how to interpret things later on. But it also kind of gives you that impression that anything that happens in this house is because it's related to some kind of paranormal thing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, I'm immune to that kind of thing anyways. But when you see like YouTubers go there, or even outside of YouTube, they hear these stories and these like horrific things about the history and things that even go on there now. It will put people on edge. Like 100% will put people on edge. But Dawn wanted to do the tour. Dawn was told how long the tour was going to be, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like I want like the 15-minute version of it, but Dawn wanted to do it. I blame Dawn for that.
Way to pass the buck.
Yeah,
Good one.
but you know what? I'm glad we did. In hindsight, I'm glad we did. And if there's anything that you don't want me to say here, Kenny, please just be like, no, shut up, Joe. The story of the lady who was pulled out of the bed, the story that was put out there by the owners is that, oh, she was pulled out of the bed. Look at this video. She was pulled out of the bed.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But digging into YouTube and then their Facebook page, there's a different story to the whole thing. Now, when I go to investigate, I don't research anything first. I don't look at other people's YouTube stuff because a lot of it is like bad information and things like that. I want to hear straight from the owners of the location or the staff members of the location. Then after that, sure, I'll do research. I'll look into things. And sometimes that can really bite you in the ass, to be honest. It really can sometimes.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that method. But I get it. Each dealer's choice. You do what you want to do.
It's a thing. It's my way of trying to come at a location without hearing all the spooky stories that YouTubers are telling, because like a lot of locations that these guys go to, like, oh, there's a demon here. You talk to your location, they're like, what are you talking about? I never said there was a demon here. Like, where did that come from? Kind of thing.
Right.
So what we found was that we were told this. So was it was a couple of other teams actually. We're told that group that was there the night the girl was pulled out of the bed, they were drunk, they were high, and believed to be on cocaine.
Wow.
That's what we were told.
The trifecta of fucked up.
Right. And it's in the video that I did. You hear her say what I just said.
Right. Yeah. You played that clip.
Right. And the girl never said that she was pulled out of the bed. It was one of the owners who kept insinuating that she was pulled out of the bed. The girl said it felt like gravity got stronger, almost like she was sucked out of the bed.
Right.
If you watch or even listen to the aftermath when that happened to her, I do believe that she felt like she experienced something paranormal, but I don't believe she did. Like, sure, if you believe you experienced something paranormal, okay, but you didn't.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we went over that a lot, back and forth, and I mean, you did a lot before I got involved, and I just did it because I was checking it, and like you're like, what do you think? And I did the same thing you did. I think I overlaid video, like earlier video, we did overlays. I'm like, yeah, she's pretty much off the bed from the start.
Right. And what's happening is she's laying on the bed. She has her arm out down like this. She's holding her upper body up with her hand with her arm.
Right.
And then you see the lower half of her body is pretty much off the bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, once gravity takes over, that's it. There's no stopping it.
Right.
And I think, most of us, we've been in a situation where something similar to that has happened, where it's like, holy crap, like I feel like I weigh a ton, the way gravity gets you. On top of that, the video footage itself looks far more crazier than what it really was, because the way it was captured.
Mm-hmm.
The security cameras, they weren't running at 24 frames per second or even 30 frames per second or higher. It was being recorded at a very slow shutter speed, I believe it was 15 frames per second. Mm-hmm. So any kind of movement looks exaggerated. Then on top of that, when you go to record it with your phone, now you get a whole completely different type of effect that's going to even further exaggerate the movement.
Right.
And, you know, I won't mention his name, but, you know, they said, oh, you know, this person analyzes 5,000 times. I don't think that person actually did. The person, you know, he very well educated, a lot smarter than me. Thing is, but does he understand camera tech? Did he understand the entire story to begin with? Because only parts of that story were put out there.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, looking at the footage, and I don't want to go in and play the footage because who knows? They're not, as far as I know, the owners of the place are not friendly and really don't like criticism. So I don't want to start shit. At least on this. But when you watch the video, it is recording. It's using I believe a phone. Somebody's using their phone to record a monitor. Mm-hmm. So the monitor is playing back the original video at about 15 frames per second, which when you watch it, it makes things look like they happen faster than they do, than they really do, because there's missing frames. And then when you use your phone, which is probably going at least 30 frames per second,
right?
It's going to distort what you're seeing. It kind of makes it look smoother, even though it's going to be choppy when you watch the original footage.
Right. You're gonna get a ghosting effect,
right,
so to speak, because your phone or whatever it is that you're recording on and looking at, like security footage or whatever, it's trying to like interpretate what movement is going to happen, where the movement is going.
What was that word? Interpretate?
Interpolate.
Interpolate?
You've never heard that?
Interpretate? I heard interpretate the first time.
Interpolate. Or maybe I did. I don't know. Anyways.
Keep going. I'm just fucking with you.
Anyways. God, Kenny. Making fun of me.
Yeah.
No, but anyhow, yeah, I mean, so that's kind of that whole thing. You know, there was nothing paranormal about that situation. It was just gravity. Gravity did what gravity does, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, okay, it scared her. She believes something happened to her. But the other thing too is during our time, there were a couple of interesting things that did happen. I don't have an explanation for them. When I say that, I don't mean it's ghosts. I don't have an answer for it. But at one point, we were in what they call the scrying room, and we heard a whistle, and my ears perked because I'm like, wait a minute, because it didn't sound right to me. And then Dawson's like, oh my, did you hear that? I'm like, wait. I knew it was going to happen again. I just knew it was going to happen again. We were going to hear that whistle.
Did you expect it because you didn't buy it? You weren't buying into it, or like why? Why did you think?
I think because I believe that. First, I was just a feeling. I'm not a freaking psychic.
Okay.
Just a feeling. I had a feeling, but also, right shortly after that happened, I was also thinking to myself, they want to make sure we heard this.
Okay.
So we heard it the second time, and I said, wait, I think I know what that is. And then my brain's like, whoa. Now I have to play this off. Like, I think it was my camera that was making that sound. Maybe it's overheating. So we went into another room, and I'm just playing it off. I'm not saying a word. And it was at that point, you could really tell in the video, I was pissed.
Okay.
It honestly sounded to me like it was coming from a speaker.
Okay. Not one that you own, though.
Not one that I owned. No.
Okay.
No. So Dawson and Dawson said, "Hey Joe, I want you to watch this video. You know, the same team captured this exact same whistle." Dawson played it, and that further, oh my God, further pissed me off. So I'm like, I'm going to smoke. Went outside. Dawson came with me. I'm like, just keep walking, Dawson. Like, I wanted away from the house.
Okay.
We got away from the house, and I told Dawson that came from his speaker. He's like, it did.
Oh my, that's funny. I love Dawson, but for him to even say, yeah,
Yeah,
that means not only is the place, if it's staged, I wasn't there, I can't say it, but if it's going to be staged, and you have Dawson saying that he thinks it's staged, that's really bad. That is a really bad staging.
then Dawn, she started to come out. I'm like, Dawn, just don't say anything. And you know, Dawn came out there. I already know what you're talking about. That came from a speaker. So without any of us saying anything, we were like, it came from a speaker. It literally had that sound.
Okay.
It had all of that. And again, I'm a musician. I record music. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm a professional or I'm a sound engineer or anything like that. But I mean, I know when a sound's coming from a speaker, and anybody should know that.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least I would think anybody would know that. The following day, you know this, Kenny, I went and I took pictures and videos of basically all of the security cameras in the house.
And I must say, you did a good job at being almost incognito, because you sent me the videos, and you're like, "Hey, I got videos of all the cameras and stuff. I want check these out." And it was funny watching it, because you're like, "All right, and this is this room, and we're going around here," and you could see, like, as long as there's a camera, like if the camera's like right here, like you were moving this camera all around so that the camera you wanted to pick up stayed in the scene no matter what. You're like, "Oh yeah, look over here, and this, and then just a little bit over here, there's this, and I was like, this is perfect, because we get a really good view of all of these cameras, and then we can match them up."
Right. So now I needed to check the claims of the house being rigged. And I did do that. There are places that you can go to get behind the walls of the location. And I looked. There was one place that I did not look. I didn't even think about it at the time, was the chimney. However, there was another team that did go there, and they did check the chimney, thankfully. Now, there was a debunker who...
I'm sorry.
No, that is the best. Okay, that was great. There was a hill. Okay, yes, there was a hill. So I did check. Anyways, a debunker did a video on it and saying, "Hey, you know, in my opinion, there's these knockers and all this other stuff, and it's rigged." And I'm like, no. I messaged him, told him no. I made a comment saying no, it's not rigged. Same debunker. Got a couple of things confused with a certain room that a team was in. Like he got turned around or something like that. He called it a continuity issue. And I'm like, no, this is how the room's set up. I even sent him footage.
Okay.
I think I did anyways. This is how it's set up. Here's what's going on, kind of thing. And you know, the thing, like, it's important. Okay, so just because we find something wrong with certain things, you still have to be like honest about, you know, hey, that's not going on.
Right.
You know,
and that's just part of being not only honest, but just a good investigator. You're like, all right, I have, like when we went to the Monroe house, right? I think that's the place we went. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were claims, people were claiming that there was stuff in the walls and like in the theater room, that there were things planted in there. And you told me about them. And that's one of the first things I did. I went in and whatever panels I could take off, I did, and looked behind all the walls. I used mirrors. I used flashlights. I put video cameras back into little crevices to look to see if there was anything rigged, because that's what we do. And you're right. The honesty of, hey, you know, like this claim that people are making is false because there's nothing in the walls that we could find. However, we did find something else. So we want to make sure we're honest about this one and this one. Like everything, you have to be honest. So good job.
You know, so I checked all that stuff. So really the main thing about the house really is its history and how things are being presented.
Right.
We did our 3 days there. I make it sound like we were in prison. We did our 3 days there. But also at the same time, there was a lot learned with that house too. Even though the house isn't exactly on a main road, like the main road's like a block, I believe like a block away or whatever.
Yeah, it's about a block or two away.
Yeah. Certain trucks with like very low sub-sounding mufflers, or even like semi-trucks and things like that. You wouldn't believe how bad. You wouldn't think it because you either you're not paying attention to it or you really can't hear it, but it rattles that upstairs.
Okay.
I had a digital recorder up there, and every time a certain vehicle would drive by with the sub sound, I could hear the vibration within the digital recorder. I'm like, wow, that's actually enough, to cause something to move.
Right. Yeah.
It vibrate things enough, and eventually something could fall off, a dresser or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Any kind of decor or statues or any trinkets that you put on top that are not flat level, and weight it and stuff like that. If you put we have a curio cabinet at home, and there's some statues in there that when you put them down, I'm going to use one of my ghosts here. If it doesn't sit flat and you can actually go up and like rock it normally, then those vibrations will cause it to start rocking, and eventually it will turn around. And many of the statues do. Oh, look at that. I have this is from our friend Melanie and her husband Anthony. Because if you don't know, Melanie's white, Anthony's black. So he got me this as a gift.
I mean, hey, that works, right?
It's fucking awesome. I love it. I love them people. All right. Anyway, continue, please.
So yeah, vibrations and stuff like that, it could also mess with people's, heads, because the vibration could also cause sounds,
right?
Very faint sounds. And people are like, oh God, did you hear that? And again, look, there were things that did happen that I have no explanation for. Like, again, I'm not saying ghost, but during our first night there, the entire room, they call it Toby's room, the demonic entity. That entire room shook. It's like we hear a loud bang. And when I go back and I watch, because I had cameras in there, you can see the whole room shake. Now,
so when you say that, if you look, the camera shake, right? That's what you're talking about, like the camera.
Yeah, it was enough to rattle the room. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the camera was actually I think I had it on a chair. I had one of my little cameras on a chair, digital recorder across from that.
Okay.
And you could see the entire room shake. But not only that, it rattled the digital recorder. You could hear that in the digital recorder as well. You hear the boom, a little bit of rattling within the digital recorder. I don't know what that was. I didn't see anything. Like, there are trees over there on that side of the house. I did look to see if maybe it was a branch. I don't think, anyways, a raccoon could have, jumped down from a tree and onto the roof and completely shake that room. I don't know. Like, I mean, that would have to be one hell of a raccoon, to be honest.
That'd be a fat raccoon
Um,
to make the whole room shake.
we did capture what sounded. I've heard a lady's voice. Sounded awfully familiar to me, but anyways, and a door opening.
Really?
Yeah, and a door opening.
A door at the same time, like roughly the same time.
Like you hear a lady talking, and you hear a door opening. We did not hear it with our own ear, and we were literally right there when it happened.
Okay.
We were maybe 20 feet away from a door that where my camera was closest to that picked it up.
So that doesn't surprise me too much because I mean I know so many of these recorders they're made for recording either lectures or lecture halls or
this was on a camera, a Sony camera, a handy camera.
Yeah, still. I mean, if it's pointed towards it, I could see it picking up someone's whisper across the room better than you actually hearing it, depending on where you are. I mean, that's, you know what? We should test that.
Well, I mean, here's the interesting thing, though. Right behind that camera, maybe 10 feet away, there's a camera there, a security camera.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
So
but the voice sounded familiar.
You're speculating that maybe the sound came through the camera and it was a door opening and someone talking and they were like accidentally triggered the I get you. Okay.
Right.
All right. That's interesting.
So I mean that was pretty much the investigation. I was not ahead
with your shirt. Lame. Okay.
But where things, really, really fell apart was doing the research. I went live in a matter of minutes doing research on the history.
Okay.
Things were not adding up. And then that stream, so there was 2 streams that I originally did that lasted about 45 minutes because then I could see I was being threatened in my chat.
What?
You don't know what you're talking about. You're going to end up getting sued, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I shut it down. I did it again, like a day or 2 later. Again, okay, just whatever. Maybe I'll come at it a little differently. Started to do it again. The same thing. And then I just blew up. I did another live stream and I was like, no, I blew up. I was pissed.
So who was threatening you?
So, I mean, we see the chat, right? We don't know everyone's real names in chat. They have a handle. I don't know. I don't know. I could speculate. I could assume, but I don't even want to do that either. But I mean,
so you're frustrated because you
got
these comments. You got people keep commenting like you're going to get. Why? Why were they saying that? Because you were doubting it. You were.
I was starting to show some receipts and proving that a lot of that stuff wasn't adding up. And then eventually, I'm like, well, the hell with it. They're going to just continue to threaten me anyway, so I might as well just throw it out there. And Kenny, the whole thing was at first I thought maybe because they claim that they were getting these things from psychics and all these other people who've done research and stuff like that, even including certain somebody who wrote a book. Like, I know all this stuff or whatever about the house, the family line, stuff like that. And I thought maybe the owners were being taken advantage of, and I started to feel bad. So what I wanted to do was, first off, I want to reach out to the people who've written books about the house.
Right.
They allegedly, did the research and stuff. But even within those books, there's 2 different books by 2 different people. And the books themselves were contradicting themselves. And then the 2 books together were contradicting one another. And it's like, what the hell is this? So I reached out to one of them and she was giving me the runaround, which, Oh,
Ooh.
I was, oh my God, I was pissed. Because I knew what was going on. You know, I was
Okay.
getting the runaround,
Yeah.
right? You know, just it was dumb. So then at one point, I ended up reaching out to this person. Now, I went looking for this photo that was being presented as a man named William Lester Kyle standing in front of the house. He's basically standing on the porch. And it just kept leading me back to the Haunted Hill House. Now, Kenny, not just you, but somebody else, you know, we looked at the photo of what was being presented as the house, and then
Right.
the photo of the actual house, and they're different homes.
Yeah, we that was fun. That was fun because at first glance, yes, it does look like it's the same house. But then when you start looking at some of the details, and we started picking apart this and that, and windows and doors and steps and where certain features are, yeah, it was definitely not the same house.
So then I was on a mission to find that house. And you know, probably the most unparanormal thing that's ever happened when doing research was I again reached out to a historical society and said, "Hey, I'm trying to find this house. Like, you guys like know where this came from?" You know, the following day, I got a message from them, and they're like, "Oh, well, it looks like this," and it was a link to eBay. Click on the link, and there it was. I'm like, "Oh my God!" And the crazy part was that postcard was listed just a couple of hours before I went. It was posted a couple hours before they found it, which was weird. It was the craziest thing. I'm like, what are the odds? And then I'm like, ah, crap, I'm broke. I can't buy this postcard. Don bought the postcard.
You're like, oh shit, I can't afford it, but I need it.
Yeah.
I definitely need it.
And that's, you know, so Dawn, she bought the postcard. We wanted to make sure that when she opened it, it was on camera. So people know that this is the first time it's being opened, and we show it. We did take it to an appraiser, a couple of appraisers here in Bristol. I didn't record that. They were like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I get that. I get it.
And, you know, they all told us this came from a Kodak camera. You know, Matt's calling me. He's going to have to wait.
So I'm going to, if you don't mind, I have your video paused on that postcard.
Go ahead.
Can I share it? Yeah. Okay. Let me share it so people see what we're talking about here. There you go.
Right.
Let me take the frame off so it's not over your face or my face. Go ahead.
So that's a high resolution photo. I put it through my scanner, and doing so, I was able to read the address on the house, 615. And yeah, I mean, and it was really cool. So I did research on that. Because of the high resolution, we can see that deck is actually an L shape type of deck.
Yes. Right.
Whereas on the Haunted Hill House, it's not.
Okay.
So that is actually a much smaller house than the Haunted Hill House.
Okay.
We have a general idea of where the house was and may still actually be. The problem is that it does not look anything. There's some similarities, but a lot's changed. And, you know, there could have been remodeling done. They made it smaller, whatever, to pack more people into that area.
Mm-hmm.
Make the lots a little bit smaller and things like that. But 100% not the Haunted Hill House. And the man standing in front, that man right there,
yes.
Archie Bedford, we believe.
And how do you know that? Like
on the back of the postcard,
okay,
it reads, "This is Papa," something to that effect. Oh, I'm trying to remember. Oh, there it is. Go ahead, pause it right there. Oh, that's not the best shot. But anyways, yeah, it says this is a picture, or this is the picture of house and Papa on the porch. We are having a hedge put in where the fence now is.
Okay.
Be good, write me back someday, something like that. Rachel, well, we see where it's going. It's going to a Miss Tempest Ricketts in Clayton, New Mexico. Dawson, he actually went and did some research on that. He came back to me with some information. And then from there, we realized at first we thought maybe Archie's wife had sent it. But timing of that would have been kind of spooky because they were like dead. So that would have been weird.
Yeah, that would have been weird. Little bit.
So what we realized is Rachel is Tempest Ricketts' cousins. So it was Rachel, the cousin, who sent that to Tempest Ricketts. Now, looking at the census records, they were Rachel and her family were living in the house. 615. And you see Rachel, daughter.
Okay.
On line 71.
Oh, 71. Yeah. There you go. Okay. I love this kind of research. This is fun. This is really fun. I love this. All right. I'm going to stop sharing. Put us back on here. Hey, don't be texting. You're on a show.
I know.
Bitch.
But anyways, Matt was trying to call me for some reason, and I don't know why. Another thing that I did, and I hated to do it because I had to spend like $65 freaking dollars on it. See the book behind me? Time Was in Mineral Wells?
Yes.
So we were told that there was a story about a man. It was a handwritten letter. Why are you doing that, camera? Anyways, about a man who came to the house with his pregnant wife to get some sort of cure or whatever the story was in what they were telling us. And in writing, typing, whatever. And they came to see Mom and Kyle. And then, that was French, for, the Kyle family or whatever, which was kind of weird. So anyhow, I bought the book. Now, according to the owners, there was hundreds of people inside the home and hundreds of people living in like tents or whatever on the property during the Spanish flu time, all seeking a cure. In that book and shown in that video, no mention of the house. Okay. No mention of hundreds of people in the house, sick, dying, whatever, or even on the property. It was hundreds of people in mineral wells. And the story's kind of sad because people honestly believed that the mineral waters and mineral wells was a cure-all. They could cure anything. And you could see the links that people went to try to get cures for whatever ailed them.
Right.
And when people realized this isn't a cure, it's not going to do anything, a lot of people self-deleted themselves. Yeah. They moved they banked basically their entire life
on this trip.
Water.
Yeah. And that's the depressing part about this overall, is that so many people, you hear about a quote unquote miracle cure and you put everything into it. You sell everything off so you can travel and come to this place and hopefully get cured. And when it hits you that it doesn't, it's not a cure. It's fabrication, and they get sucked in. It's I don't want to say a con per se, but
there were
people
some
that were
benefits with it. I mean, there really were some benefit. It was not a cure-all, but there were very little benefits with it. It did help with the rheumatism or arthritis, and it did help stabilize people because there was lithium in the water.
okay.
And I mean, that's a fact. There was
But
lithium,
I wonder
lithium in the
I
water.
wonder if it's not just because of what was in the water, but because people believe that the water was doing something. Were they drinking more water? Were they more hydrated than they normally were? Did that
Right.
have? I'm just
Placebo.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
But I mean, like, yeah, if you're not properly hydrated, you can cramp up. So I wonder if that was an issue, but I don't know. I haven't looked into this at all, except for the few things that you reached out for. But other than that, like, I haven't looked into it, so I don't know.
Right. No, there was traces of lithium in it. So to a certain extent, it did have some benefits to it, but by no means was it curing cancer or any other like major illnesses.
Right.
And it really is a sad story. Some of the other claims is, this all, happened, again during the Spanish flu time. Yet in the story of this man, that is the story the man is telling, basically from his diary. This stuff happened between 1880 and 1881. The story basically ends, I believe it was February of 1881. Spanish flu didn't happen until 1918.
Okay.
So
they get a lot of dates mixed up.
Yeah, how does that work exactly?
This almost feels like I'm totally going to blame the Warrens. Like when the Warrens would make up stories about the locations they went to and heavily embellish things because they didn't think anyone would look it up, or at the time you couldn't look most of it up, at least nowhere near as fast and as easy as we can now. It would take so much longer, and it just sounds like this history was cobbled together and promoted as like a quick, let's just get this set up as a most haunted area and a business so we can start making money.
There's a lot of dead ends. If you go to do research, and this was something that a lot of people said that they ran into, were almost like these dead ends, that everything led nowhere. And then it was, the excuse or reasoning would be, we spent many years, and we had these people look into it, and in such a way, just like, don't worry about it, we're telling the truth. Even though you ran into dead ends, it's okay. We got this kind of thing.
Right.
But here's the secret. There's a lot of people who looked into this. And nobody has gone as far as Dawn and I have. People have gone pretty far. And then they got far enough to know that, no, this isn't true.
Right.
And never, said anything about it. And even now, they're still running with that. Oh, hey, you can come here and Willie might scratch you, and this might happen, that might happen. There was a William Lester Kyle. I know a lot of people don't really know the history of the Haunted Hill House, but there was a William Lester Kyle, but he had nothing to do with the house. He wasn't related to the people who own the house, nothing like that. It's a death certificate, that alone would prove it. And you kind of have to give credit to the television show Portals to Hell, because they even told them there's nothing there.
Right.
They can't substantiate any of these claims. This is urban legends.
And I think that's the problem, because it's not, they're looking at letting TV crews in there for publicity and thinking, oh, we're going to get lots of money for this. we're going to get a ton.
And the TV shows are going to side with us and go with it and all that other stuff.
And then when they're challenged on it, and I mean, you're right. Like, I got to give them credit. I don't normally side with any of the paranormal TV shows because I don't think they do. I'm not going to get into it, but I usually don't side with them. But when they do call out something like that, and again, it goes back to like Dawson, whom I love you, Dawson, even though you frustrate the shit out of me. It's even when someone like that says, no, we don't find anything, and they're not willing to side with you or just go along with what you're saying. I mean, that should be a big red flag and say, no, you don't got shit. Like, give it up. But instead, they went the other way. And at least for you, they slapped you with a lawsuit.
Right.
But we are at the hour. We're at the hour, so we're going to take a break. I'm going to try something different here. First, I want to tell everyone that we're still having issues with StreamYard. Are you getting the comments coming through more?
So the comments are coming through YouTube without a problem. And people are, conversing. They're not showing up in StreamYard, but they pop up in batches.
Right. So yeah, like I'm looking, I have YouTube up on my other screen, but on StreamYard, you're right. Like all of us, it'll stop, and then all of a sudden we get a whole bunch, and it'll work fine for a few minutes, and then it freezes up, and then go. So that's why I'm not putting a lot of comments up. I apologize. I see them, but I just can't do it. But I'm going to try something different here because two people made new video / songs for the show for us here, and the first one is by Pinky's Art and Music, and instead of playing the regular commercial, I'm going to put this into share screen mode, and I'm going to play the video. I'm going to share the video so that you can see it and hear it and listen to the new song, which is awesome. I'm going to figure out a way to incorporate this because it's awesome. And then sometime in the second hour, we're going to play another song by Wisdom, who did this. And it's just freaking awesome. So I'm going to share this. I'm going to share the audio. Make sure I click
do that. I'm going to go pee while you do that.
You do that.
I'll be listening on my phone.
All right. I'm going to take this off, and you guys can enjoy the song. So we'll be back in 4 minutes from now.
In the winter's roaring thunder, when the sky split red with flame, Pinky walked the path of iron to the mountain no one names, with a hammer born of starfire and a heart carved out of rage. She called the truth from out the shadows, a beast to break deceiver's cage. Steel screamed, embers rising, ancients whispered in the heat. Forge the dragon of the truth fire, he who makes false visions bleed. Sand air drop body, dragon of truth devour the lies. Born in Pinky's blazing fury, with fire that strips illusion dry. Sand air drop body, crusher of dreams that dare deceive. Forge for Kenny, ghost destroyer, let the false one fall and flee. Through the smoke walked Kenny Biddle, hunter of the haunted claims, seeker of the hidden answers, breaker of the spectral games. He reached into the blinding furnace where the dragon's heart was made, and the truth roared out like thunder. I am yours, unleash my flame. Winds tore, mountains trembled as the dragon's eyes awoke. Born to crush the phantom daydreams, born to burn through fear and smoke. Sand eardrum body, dragon of truth devour the lies. Born in Pinky's blazing fury, with fire that strips illusion dry. Sand eardrum body, crusher of dreams that dare deceive. Forge for Kenny, Ghost Destroyer. Let the false ones fall and flee. Bone by storm and steel, by every truth the shadows hide. Pinky forged him, Kenny claimed him. Now together they stride. No ghost can stand, no hoax survive, no phantom dare remain. For the dragon of the truth, fire turns belief itself to flame. Senate trombone. Rise and roar, break the veil tonight. Wings of judgment, claws of reason, burn the darkness into light. Senate trombone. Mighty forge-born beast of truth. Pinky shaped you, Kenny right you. Crushing dreams and crushing growth. And those dared so for no illusion stands before your gaze. From the forge of Pinky's power.
There we go. Now I'm unmuted. That's what happens when you're doing this live. I'm trying to share from YouTube. I'm like, how do I do this? And apparently, Eric told me that my mic was hot when we went to the video. So hopefully, I didn't say anything stupid. Fuck that Joe Vitale guy.
Yeah, fuck that
I
guy.
know, right?
And I know I've been all over the place with this, Kenny. So, like, if you want to ask questions or whatever, like lawsuit or anything else, go for it, or anyone else. So there's so much to this, and that's kind of why I'm like all over the place, because I mean there is a lot.
Right, I get it, and there's going to be a lot more than we can cover in one show. I mean, I think your video was like 2 hours long or something like that, right?
Yeah, it could. I cut a lot out. Okay. I didn't want to do 2 parts because then it would look like I may be harassing, and I didn't want to do that.
I will say, I want to say real quick, Malachi, thank you. Your comments hasn't come up on StreamYard yet, so I can't put it on screen, but thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate that, Malachi. I made it. About time, bitch. No, I'm kidding. All right, so we're gonna try and do. I think we have a bunch of we do have a bunch of questions. So we're gonna start going through some of the viewer questions that come up, and when we get our next batch of comments that come through YouTube, we'll see if there's any more questions. I don't know what the hell. I'm guessing that they're doing some update, or they did some update, and it's screwed up because, like we were talking during the break, and I'm looking. I have YouTube up, and I see all the comments coming through. So YouTube is working. It's just not being pulled in by StreamYard. So, but the Facebook comments are. So John Michael, John without an H, is the one that has most dominating comments. I heard Kenny say he really believes in ghosts. All right.
He also believes in the Illuminati
and fairies. So, all right. Let's see what we got. Let's see what kind of questions do we have there. Cree Storm. I am not asking to start. I love when she starts the questions like this.
Cree's great.
I'm not asking to start crap. I really want an honest answer, as you are a real investigator of the paranormal. What do you think skeptics and debunkers get wrong or is upsetting?
First off, I would say let's use investigator a little loose.
Yeah.
I mean, limited time, at these locations, there's only so much you can do. And I I'm one of those people. Sure, I'll look into the claims and stuff like that, but I also want to like try to have an experience. Try to have an experience that other people claim that they have had, and see if that happens. And 99.9% of the time, I'm just talking to nothing. Nothing happens.
Especially one of my favorite moments with you, Joe, is when I walked into the Monroe house and you kind of stopped and you were just like, nothing's going to fucking happen because you're here. Like, damn. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, just giving you shit, but it was true.
I mean, I would add to this that it's a good question, and it's not starting crap. It's an honest question. Right. What do you think skeptics and debunkers get wrong or is upsetting? And I think there's very similar things that both sides get wrong. So it's not like skeptics or debunkers are immune to getting things wrong. I mean, they certainly do. And I think there's one aspect is when they're too quick to jump to a conclusion. When you don't do enough research, when you have a knee-jerk reaction to something and you don't take the time to understand what's going on, to research it properly, to ask those questions, and also to make sure that you're looking at both sides of the story, not just because one of the things that I always bring up is when ghost hunters often research a location, they are looking for anything that supports what they already believe is going on. And they oftentimes overlook or don't get to information that might explain the claims. And sometimes they ignore it. Sometimes it's unintentional. Sometimes it is intentional. But other times they get to a point where they research and say, oh, well, look, I found an answer. That's it. I'm not going any further. But it's only an answer that supports their belief rather than an actual answer to the question. So I see skeptics do that too, or people that claim to be skeptics will do that too. They're too quick to jump to a conclusion. And they get that wrong. I think they really do get that wrong. And it does upset people, especially it upsets me because it's like sometimes I think there's a heavier burden on us when we're looking at these videos. And I'm going to talk, I think I'm going to direct this more towards the debunking community that does reaction videos to YouTube videos. Sometimes we're quick to make a judgment and we don't look into it far enough, or we make an assumption. And when I see that, I kind of get that like, you almost had it. And because it's really, we are putting ourselves out there saying, you're doing it wrong, and this is why. And when we fuck up, we look twice as bad. So I think we have to work twice as hard in order to make sure that we get it right. And it's not about being right or wrong. It's about putting the right information out there, the correct information, so everyone is on the same page. And I'll take that a step further and address more of the upsetting part of this question and say, I've said this before, I don't like the name calling on either side. So I don't care if you're a believer and you hate skeptics or you call skeptics haters. I think that's wrong. But again, I also think that when skeptics or debunkers are doing their videos, and instead of just focusing on the work, on the claims and attacking the claims, there's a lot of you fucking idiot, you stupid asshole, and there's a lot of personal insults. And especially when it gets really personal, you're going beyond the work. You're going beyond what you claim you're doing, and you're making it personal. And I do not endorse that. I do not think that's proper. Setting to me.
If they're joking around and calling somebody names or whatever, like, and it's done in a joking way for comedy, I'm okay with that. But to just straight up like insult or things like that, yeah, no, that's not cool. One of the things that agitates me, and this does happen quite a bit, when any debunker, it could be any debunker, but they'll say, oh, they're at this location and they present their case. And I'm like, that's not how this place is set up. Like, you don't understand
Yeah.
how the location is set up, and you're wrong.
Like understanding the layout and the floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And again, with a debunker regarding the Haunted Hill House, he had done that. And I'm like, no, you got, like, this is wrong. And I do wish that debunkers would come to us. And they don't have to all the time. And hell, they don't have to anyways. But I do wish that they'd say, hey, have you been to this location? How is this set up? I might have video, because I take a lot of videos, picture stuff like that of these locations. I can be like, here, I have this, here's pictures of this, here's videos of that. And they'll give you a much better understanding of the room that they're in, the floor plans, the layout, things like that.
Right.
And that's happened, quite a bit. I'm like, or when investigators, they believe that they did experience something, and then the bunker's like, oh, look at that, they're just acting. Yeah, they're just, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have seen videos, which again was included in my video, where again, it sounded like something was coming through a speaker and scared the hell out of a young lady. She was genuinely terrified. And there are people who go not just to that location, but other locations who hear that, and they're terrified. They're not acting. They're like, holy shit. What people need to understand is, and I know most of the people who watch our content, they don't go to these locations, but a lot of the stories that are told really do have an impact on the way people investigate their emotions. And again, I've always said that the paranormal is very psychological. In one way or another, it's very psychological. Imagine being told, oh my God, we have a demon here and it attacks people. We had somebody who was here and then they died. They didn't die from a demon. That pisses me off, and I don't even know if I should even get into that. We'll just say that person didn't get the help they needed soon enough, and I had talked to a person who was there when this happened. I have the receipts for that. People can be told some pretty horrific things. A lot of it too, abuse. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be specific about exactly what type of abuse, but those are things that can be triggering to people and can emotionally get to them. And it is a thing at a lot of locations. Not every locations, but there are some who just, they think the more extreme, the better, more attention they're going to get, more people who are going to come and book.
Right. And I agree. Like you mentioned about roasting, and I think roasting is roasting. And I do like Seg. For me, Seg is the one that does a lot of roasting, and it's done, I think, more for comedy. And then even like he's a good case to actually talk about, because when he does it, and if the I guess the target, we'll say, for lack of a better word, target of his video reaches out, he talks to them.
Right.
There's a conversation that goes on. And if he was wrong, or if he feels that he overstepped after having that conversation, he says it, and they move on. And sometimes he's worked with the people
right
eventually, which is good. I think that's great. But yeah, I think it really should be kept professional. Focus on the work that's going on. Focus on the claims that are being made. If you say someone is fake, we have to remember that in itself is a claim. So like if I do a video or write an article and I'm saying, hey, I'm looking at this investigation that they did, or this claim that they did, and I pick it apart piece by piece, and I give you all the information. I'm giving you all the information because now the burden of proof is on me, because I'm saying it's not true. So now I have to say, here's my work. So if you say someone is fake, the burden of proof now shifts from them proving that it's real to you proving that it's fake. And sometimes, and I speak from experience, sometimes sitting in a cockpit like this, you can't do that. You have to be on location for some of this. Sometimes you don't have to, but sometimes you do. And I think that's something we all have to remember. instead of saying someone's fake or just coming right out and saying you're fake, you're fake, you're fake, remember that you are now putting yourself in the spotlight, and be prepared for that, because now you got to show your work. And if you don't, you're just as bad as they are.
Right.
And with that, before I turn it over to you or we go to the next question, I want to make sure that I'm not trashing debunkers. I love the community. I get along with them, and we talk about this stuff offline, like amongst ourselves. We point it out, and then I happily will discuss this with everyone. So it's not like a secret or anything like that. I don't want to anyone taking this out of context.
Right. No. I mean, there have been times where Beardo said, "Hey, this was an overlay," and I'm like,
hashtag blame Beardo.
I'm like, and I'm looking at him like that's not an what? Now, it wasn't paranormal, that's for sure. And I do believe the people who threw that video out there, I do believe that they knew what it was, and there's different angles. And why weren't those other angles shown? But the thing was, that debunk was wrong. And
yeah,
it's like,
and Beardo, I will say in his defense too, that I've reached out to him and said that, like, I've seen a video that came out and he's like, oh, he's doing this and this is what's happening and this and that. And I'm like, no, it's not. And I've messaged him right away and said, here, like, this is what you said, but I don't think it's that. I think it's this. And here are examples. I'll send him photos that recreate what I said. And I think I've done this like 3 times now. And every time he's immediately done a video the next day saying, okay, I was wrong. And he admits it and he talks about it, that's what you're supposed to do.
And you've been to the Monroe house with me, and there was a video that Beardo did. It was a debunk with Twin Paranormal, and something about string or something like that. On a lot of the windows in the house are covered in plastic, but that's changed quite a bit since then. But during this time, there's actually more plastic around the windows. But Beardo was saying, oh, hey, you see this right there, that string, whatever the hell it was. I'm like, no, I've seen that firsthand. I've been there multiple times. That's not what it is.
Right.
And the plastic can also sound like footsteps, like a little bit of debris from footsteps. And then here you got these guys in the room. Oh, we're trapped in here. You hear the footsteps. Oh my God. It's like, how come nobody's getting up to check? Like,
right.
you hear something. But you're going to get, like, everybody's going to get it wrong. Yeah. And I love Beardo to death. I do. And I do say something like, hey, that's wrong.
And I think that shows the strength of this community. Like, we can reach out and say, hey, I think this is wrong. Here's why. That's the key. Like, you don't just say you're wrong. You say, hey, I think this is wrong. Here's why. And we all talk about it and realize, okay, this was a mistake. Let's fix it. And we do. Unlike the other side of the community. Yes, let me rephrase that. Unlike some on the other side of the community that will get angry and start doing their bullshit, like, copyright stuff like that.
Yeah, or you weren't there, you don't know what you were talking about.
Right. So, whew, all right, that was a hell of a question, Craig.
Way to go, Craig.
Look at you, it took like 15 minutes of the second. That was the only one question that we did. Do you have anything to offer?
We do have some more questions coming through, and now that the chat's starting to catch up, I have them. But before we lose it, I did want to give Malachi his moment.
Yes, awesome. I did see, yeah, I saw that. I have it up on here, so I did see that. But do you have anything to offer to what we said, or you're like,
No, I think you guys covered it.
Okay. I just like, all right, I want to make sure you get, like some kind of view in if you want to.
No, I appreciate it. I've been trying to keep up on the chat and make sure that, we're responding to people while we can here. And
this is the first live, right, that you've actually done?
Yeah, at least behind the scenes like this.
So Eric behind the wall, which is now Eric on the side, this is his first live stream that he's managing, and it just so happens that StreamYard is fucking itself.
Hey, you know what? That's a great way to learn.
Yeah.
Next time it'll be easier.
He's doing a great job, though. He's doing a real good job. All
absolutely.
right. So RNB. These locations want to make money. Do they believe they are doing the right thing by faking speakers and such? Do they believe most the people want evidence, whether it's real or fake?
Not all locations have speakers set up or faking anything.
Good way to
I can say that confidently. We have to be honest. Pretty much every location, their history is going to be off a little bit. Some way worse than others.
Right.
And it's not necessarily their fault. Maybe they just can't find, what they're looking for, or something got confused, things like that. But for the most part, in my experience, location owners have been amazing and not rigging things up, not setting things up like speakers or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I haven't been. Let me think. I've been to one location that used to have speakers set up, but the owner that had the current owner when I was there, because that was like 2 owners ago, but the current owner did not know about it, and the speakers were not hooked up anymore. So I don't blame them, but I've been in that house. That was the Whispers Estate. I wrote about that years ago. But do they believe they are doing the right thing by faking? I would. This is going to be speculation because I haven't talked to owners, because if I haven't caught anyone actually faking deliberately. But I would say that if they are faking it, they are only doing the right thing by themselves because they're profiting off of it. They know if they're faking it, they know they're being deliberately deceitful to their customers. They're committing fraud because they're selling something and they're not giving that experience. They're giving them something else, which is fabricated. So I would say they're only doing right by themselves to make money. Do they believe most people want evidence?
Everybody wants evidence. Everybody.
Yeah, I mean, there was one. I think they do want. I think people do sign up for these things because they want something to happen, and the owners, instead of being bluntly honest, and this is only for a few. I'm not saying every owner of a such location does this, but I think some of them that are deliberately faking are just saying, hey, you know what? They're paying for an experience. I'm going to give it to them no matter what. I was on a tour. This was years and years ago, where we were all in this big room. It was like a mill. It was one of the mills that had that, like, I don't know what you call it, the big wheel with the water going over top of it, and it made it spin, and it was like a mill that grinded corn and all that. So we were in there, and it's had stories about it being haunted. So there was about 20 of us in there, and we were all around the room, and those of us that were on this side of the room heard somebody outside scream. Everyone else on the other side thought it came from inside the mill. And the guide, the person in charge of all this, was like, we caught a real ghost. We caught a real ghost. And it wasn't just me. Other people were going, no, that was people outside. There's people literally standing outside. We can see them through the boards. They made that noise. The person organizing it came up and said, hey, we're giving them what they want, so shut up. Which led to other words, because you just don't tell me to shut up. That doesn't work.
And again, that scenario that you gave, look what happened at the Monroe house. Jeff's tripod made a sound, and I swear I heard something. I heard a sound, and it sounded like it was coming from outside the room.
That was cool. That was one of the coolest experiences I've been to. because he's standing in a doorway, the only doorway in and out of this room. Somebody inside the room moves the tripod, makes a noise, and Joe, who is standing in this doorway, thinks it came from behind him down the hallway. And I was like, that's so freaking cool, because it literally has to go past you to make that sound. But he didn't hear it when it went past him. He heard it down at the other end, which was great. I didn't hear it at all, but it was great. Jose Puerto Rican, 4 months. Thank you. Oh, we got to do his question now. Kenny, what is your opinion of Buffalo Central Terminal hauntings? Any investigations there? Unfortunately, it's off limits. It has been fenced off and off limits for quite some time, because I believe somebody did go in there and fell through several floors. I think I want to say they didn't make it. So it's been off limits. Maybe they were severely hurt. Eric's going to look it up. But I think somebody was severely hurt and or just did not survive, and it's been off limits. So I can't get in there, and I wouldn't know. I think they do have, once in a great while, they have special tours to go in, and when I hear about it, I will definitely sign up. But other than that, I can't have an opinion because I haven't been there. Anything? Yeah. Did you see?
Fine. There's been some deaths in the area. I'll have to do a little more digging to see if I can find some.
All right.
Inside.
Thank you, Puerto Rican, for the membership. That's awesome.
And that's why you don't go into abandoned locations.
Yes.
One of many reasons.
Do not trespass. Do not ignore the no trespassing signs. Don't abandon buildings. I mean, I used to do it when I was a kid all the time, but I was stupid. You know, like, you just don't do it. You're going to die. All right.
Well, you might die, but
you might die. There's a good chance.
There's a pretty good chance.
Rob Linklater, how many times do you think a ghost has fell through a door or wall when an investigator has asked them to tap on the wall or knock on the door? The ghost is like, for fuck's sake, I'm sick of this shit. Oh my God, that's funny. Woo. All right, that was a good question. That was good. That made me laugh.
I like that.
John without an H. Sorry if I missed it, but how certain are you that it was a speaker that was making the voice, saying it sounds like a speaker? Have you considered adding tools to detect speakers and such?
Okay, so that's an awesome question, and something that I forgot to even throw in there. You can use an EMF meter to check to see if there's speakers. But what happened was I had a digital recorder really close to one of the security cameras, and it literally threw the wave file into the red when we heard the whistling.
Okay. So that indicates that the sound is extremely close or extremely loud. So that's one thing. Yeah.
Both.
And then what else?
One of my cameras captured it as well.
Okay.
And there is a certain sound, a clicking sound that happens with those cameras. And I heard click and then the whistling. And
so the cameras in question are the blink cameras.
Yes.
And like we mentioned earlier in the show. Yeah, we mentioned earlier in the show that you went around and you took video of all of them, and we were able to compare them to the models that Blink put out and find out that there were several different cameras. There were 3 different cameras. And only one didn't have a speaker, but there were several that did have speakers and two-way audio. But you did a test, right? You did a test or somebody did a test for you using
Yes. Also in the video too, I have comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
We had I don't want to say who it is. I try to protect people, especially within this situation. But this person had her daughter, who was not even in the house. She was in her car. She was at school in the parking lot in her vehicle, accessing the cameras, and always the click. The whistling that we captured had that breathy sound to it as well. So it sounds like, somebody's blowing into like a microphone or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, she did that, and I took that and I compared that to all of the other disembodied voices that were captured. Some of it, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but it sounds like speakers to me. And I'm not trying to push anybody to like, hey, go watch the video and you'll get it. You'll understand. But if you want to watch my video on it, watch it. You'll have a much better understanding of it.
Right.
Hearing it is way more important than just trying to explain it.
Right. I'm going to put the link. Well, I'm going to attempt to put the link to your video in the chat. Hopefully it goes through and everyone gets to see it. But it's definitely, it's 2 hours long, but it's definitely worth the watch. Because it's the kind of video that I really do enjoy. It may be long, but it goes into all the documents. You see everything. You do exactly what an investigator is supposed to do. You show your work. And that's the important thing. You have to show your work. Just saying, no, that's not true, isn't good enough. It really isn't good enough. You need to actually show your work. And that's what you do in this video, is you show every single document that you've pretty much touched.
And there's more than that. I could follow when the house was built, who owned the house first, all the way up to this point in time. But I didn't do that because you get to a point where these people are still alive. And
you don't want to go real quick. Vicky Ming, awesome. Thank you for the gifted 5 memberships. That's awesome. So everyone that got a membership from Vicky, please thank her. Make sure you give her a like and thumbs up, or like this video too. While you're there, just click the thumbs up, so I can see the little thumb go up and be like, yay. Like it.
No, I show deeds.
Yes.
Death certificates. The death certificates are very damning because in the 1940s, allegedly, some horrific things occurred and things were allegedly going on in the house at that point in time. But the death certificates clearly show a different family living in the home, and it was not used in the manner of a brothel, gambling den, and bootlegging.
Okay, that's important. I mean, I really like when videos show that, and you're not just creating a timeline or basing everything off of your word. You're showing all the documents, and as we've all kind of getting used to, you're showing the receipts. You're showing everything that's going on. You're showing the census records, the deeds, the death records, which are all official records that anyone can look up. It doesn't take anything special. I mean, you might need a subscription to something, but otherwise you can look it up and verify it yourself, which is important.
And I was actually surprised because just on whim chance, and it was actually credit to Dawn here, we were told originally that the Palo Pinto County Clerk's office, the deeds and things like that only went back to like 1960. And then Don's like, whoa, wait a minute. This goes way back, to like the 1800s. I'm like, what? So then like, boom. And then it just rained information. It was insane.
Nice.
Like tax records too. One of the claims is that, Mr. Context is important here. Again, just you have to watch the video to get the whole context,
right?
With some key players of the history. So the story was that, hey, this guy, Mr. Kyle, or William Barclay Kyle, and his wife Fanny Yeager Kyle, built the house as an A-frame. And there's 2 different versions of this too, which is Okay, but anyways, during the Civil War time, the house started as an A-frame. They weren't married. Fanny was not living in Texas until around 1880. She didn't move to Mineral Wells until 1881. The documents back that up. Tax records back that up.
Awesome.
Mr. Kyle was married to somebody else during that point in time.
Okay.
What really drives me crazy is the previous owner gave a person who wrote one of the books on the Haunted Hill House a list of people who had owned the home. But he got that from another team, and that team did a pretty good job. It was a little confusing, but they did do a pretty good job. And Dawn and I were able to just put it all together. Like, okay, here's what's going on. Right. But that should have been a clue that stuff never happened to begin with. Like, I'm like, how did they miss that? And then being told, regarding the postcard, we didn't put that up. That was the previous owner. He's the one who did that. You read the book and the guy says, I was never able to find the house or a picture of the house.
Right.
I looked and looked and looked. I could never find a picture.
All this information just isn't adding up and it contradicts each other. So,
right.
All right. Let's see. We're at 141. Let's take a quick break before we go to some more questions, because I want to play Wisdom's next song before we get really into it. Because do we have more questions? I think my thing is all screwed up.
Yeah, I think we maybe have one more. So get your questions in while we're on the break.
All right, get some questions in while the comments are actually coming through. If you want, but I'm going to play this video. I'm going to share it. We'll keep us on screen, and then that way we can enjoy it together. Let me see here, there, and share audio. Share. I'm going to take off this our framing here, so we can watch it pretty good. Go to this full screen. This is get ready to rock out. That's so awesome. It's so humbling to see something like that. Holy shit. All right, I'm going to mute myself. I gotta turn the volume on.
Another mystery on the screen, a photograph of something unseen, a voice that whispers in the static, a story that's a little bit dramatic. But I got my tools and I got my mind. The scientific method leaves the doubt behind. I'm not here to disbelieve, I'm here to show you how we can perceive. They call me the dream crusher, but I'm just a white guy. I'll take it apart, break it like art, taking notes on the fly. Logic, science, skepticism, a whole lot of nerding. Where there's a question, chase the answer and never stop learning. Never stop, never stop learning. Never stop learning. Digging for the truth, the wheels always turning. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. Finding answers, the fire's always burning. From poltergeist claims to photographic face, I'm dissecting the days and shining lights on these frames. A skeptic with a soldering iron, fueled by a consuming desire. They say let the mystery be, but it's just a puzzle calling out to me. With every bit of circuitry, every test I feed, another step to proceed. Take a drink of Kenny's specialty and watch me solve this mystery. Gonna break the illusion, show the gear, make an explanation clear. Gonna calm that chill running down your spine. Though I gotta admit it was a clever design. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. Digging for the truth, the wheels always turning. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. Finding answers, the fire's on. seat, I build conclusions from logic. Not just belief, I'm not a debunker. But it's a tool of my trade, cause when the evidence speaks, it's always the same. So I'll nerd out loud, take the science apart. Cause learning by doing is where it all starts. Search goes on. The search goes on. With every history. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. Digging for the truth, the wheels always turning. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. Finding answers, the fire's always burning. Dream crusher.
Hit that like and subscribe.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh my God. It was so much fun.
Well,
It's too bad that StreamYard though butchers the sound quality.
Well, you know what? Go both to Pinky's Art and Music and go to Wisdom's channels on YouTube, and you'll see it there. And you can play it. You can listen to it if you want to. And I think I saw the question come up, like, did I have enough songs now? And I think I do, because we have our opening, we have our intro to Skeptical Hot Bar, we have our commercial one, we have our outro, we have Donna's song, we have Tim Vickers' song, we have Tim Binga's song, and now we have Pinky's and Wisdom's newest song. So we got 8. Donna like the songs. I don't know if she's in the chat. I don't know if she's in the chat, but I'm going to play them for her later. So I think we have 8 songs that I know of. So I think that's an album, I think.
yeah, I think we should get it pressed on vinyl.
Dude, he was telling me about that. Like, you can get custom pressed vinyl. And I was like, I
would like to do that for Evil on Earth, the song that Crow and I did.
Drop it in the chat, everyone. Are you going to buy one of these vinyls if I get them pressed?
I don't see like that. I would love to do that more as like, depending on how much it is to get them, maybe like the minimum, get them and then have them as like giveaways, like special giveaways for like members only or something like
Could
that.
Be a fundraiser, you know, to make money off it.
I mean, these are songs that belong to other people, and I don't want to. I feel weird like taking them and saying, "Oh, I'm going to make an album and I'm going to sell it." Because first I have to make sure I get permission from all of them.
Of course.
It's their work, so I want to make sure they can profit off of them if they want to. So, but these are that's so fucking awesome. It's fucking rocking out. I'm gonna have a headache later. I'm getting too old to do that. You know. All right. No more headbanging for me. All right. So what else we got? We got another question or two, or
put this one up here.
Cree Storm, Joe. Haha, it's all on you, bitch. Do you think that investigators like you are painted with a broad brush because of those like Omar, that you must be saying something is paranormal because you think it's interesting?
I'm confused with
Yeah, I'm not sure what this means. Broad brush, because those like Omar, that you must be saying something paranormal because you think it's interesting. I mean, I think a lot of things are interesting. A lot of the stuff, like we've done stuff together. We've gone to places. We've gone to 2 places now where I thought they were interesting. I didn't think they were haunted, but I thought they were interesting, and I like the stories. I like the thrill of the chase, if you will. Because you're tracking down these claims and trying to find out the information that backs them up or refutes them, and I love that no matter what. So I think people like Omar, and I don't watch him. So I think I've watched 1 or 2 of his videos because I had to. But I think channels like that, and then when you get into like Twin Paranormal and other channels that are like that, they're all just about, this is awesome, it's got to be haunted because it's got stories. They don't do any research. They don't actually investigate.
It's for show.
Yeah, that's it. They're looking for a free ride because they probably get in for free or at a discounted rate. I'm speculating here. They do their filming, they put it out there, they get all those views, they get some kind of income from that, and it keeps them going. There's no goal of actually doing good research and presenting evidence-based conclusions.
So I've had some location owners, one of them being friends with. She owns a jail. It's really cool. It's a historical jail. And there was a person who contacted her who's been making its rounds here lately with all the craziness that's been going on. But he tried to get in there for free, claiming that he was a big YouTuber, had all these following, and it would bring her and her business partner and friend more business. And she's like, yeah, no, you gotta pay.
Yeah. Creed does follow up. So I'm pulling this off of YouTube itself, saying it's when Joe isn't coming out and saying it's paranormal, but others will say he is saying it. And then also responds to something else because there's a conversation going on. I wish it would pop up on screen. Saying that Joe doesn't, Wisdom actually says, hey, Wisdom, Joe does say, I don't think it was paranormal, but it was interesting. Cree responded to it. And then she also says, but he and others like him are accused of saying something is paranormal because they react or question it. But he isn't saying that he's saying.
Oh, no. Like, if I'm saying, like, if something happens, I'm like, well, that was interesting. But I'm not saying it was paranormal because there's no information. There's not enough information there to begin with. Or something could have happened and it was far away. Okay, well, that was interesting, but I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, my God, we heard a sound. Ghost.
Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. That doesn't work.
I mean, and I agree. Like if something happens and you're not actually present and nobody was present and you don't have any kind of footage to look at or anything like that, you have you work with the data that you have, but it's usually not enough information. It's not sufficient information to come to a conclusion. So you're going to have to say, I don't know what this is. It's interesting. Yeah. I heard a sound that to me is abnormal. So it's interesting, but I can't say it's paranormal. And if other people are coming in, if other groups are watching like your work, your videos and saying, well, he's not saying it, but yeah, he's really saying it's paranormal.
No, I mean, if I thought it was paranormal, I would definitely straight up say it. I mean, there are times where I'm like, oh God, that's just really compelling. It's not evidence. It's not proof. That's
the big question. Nobody cares. Who? Yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'm kidding.
We had something, interesting happen to us at Octagon Hall. Really cool place. Love that place. Where it looked like something messed with Dawn's hair. Dawn wasn't moving. She wasn't doing anything. She was just sitting there. And that was captured on their security cameras, thank God. But then they turned around and recorded it on a cell phone, which now you've lost a lot of detail. You can see something is going on, but there's just not enough detail there. There's not, the other thing, the old hospital on College Hill. We were all the way up on the 3rd floor, and one of my recorders was in the basement, and it sounded like a guy say, "Go up." But was it a guy who said, "Go up"? We heard what sounded like a metal chair scooting. But was it a metal chair scooting? We don't know. We weren't there. We didn't get to see it.
Right. Okay, cool. All right. Do we have another one? We're good? We're good. We're caught up for now.
Yeah,
okay.
nothing.
Well, good, because we're at the end. We're at the end of the show anyway. So we can start wrapping it up. So if people want to come and see more of your work, go through all the contacts and stuff.
No, just don't bug me on Facebook. I get so many messages on Facebook. I'm like, oh my God, because it just goes off nonstop. Just look, guys, just go to my YouTube channel and Entity 7 Paranormal Joe Vitale.
Okay.
I also try to keep to myself as much as I possibly can. Sometimes I'll drive people nuts with messages, but
yeah, I know.
Out of love.
But I can attest to that.
Guys, I know it's kind of all over the place with this. I do have to be careful about what I say and how I present certain things. I also want to say that going through the system, court and stuff like that, especially with what's been going on now, is only some information is available to the public. Like in my case and Dawn's case, there was a lot of things that were brought into like discovery and other things, a lot of documents that will never ever see the light of day, because these are things that are worked out among attorneys.
Okay. Yeah,
I represented myself, so I was kind of in on that kind of stuff. But if it doesn't go to the judge's chamber, then it's not on record. And then technically it doesn't exist.
Okay.
And this is the truth about the whole thing that's been going on with the Conjuring House. You guys seeing very little information, but we don't know all the information. Because of have experience with that. I know this and I can say that. So guys, like, be patient with stuff like that. Don't jump to conclusions or anything like that.
All right. Yeah. I mean, there's so much going on. And I think before we get to the next question here, or the final question, because we had one sneak in, but understand that with a lot of cases, and I don't want to bring up names, there's other drama that's going on in our community that I'm sure everyone that's watching is aware of. Understand that what you see is what people want you to see, and that there are always going to be things in the background behind the scenes that are going on that they either are not ready to share with the public because maybe things are in motion, or they're legally bound not to publicly announce it. So understand that if there's drama going on surrounding maybe court cases, legal action, or something like that, no matter if you like the person or not, if there's two sides to it and you like one side or the other side better, understand that when you make a judgment call and like trash somebody about like a legal issue, when you don't have all the information, when you're not privy to what's going on in the background, you yourself look like an asshole. Just putting it out there plain and bluntly, you look bad. So that's why I don't get into it. I don't get into the drama with what's going on with different people. I talk to them behind the scenes, and if they want any advice, if I can help in any way, of course I do. but I'm not going to make public proclamations because I might not have all the information. And if I say something based on what's publicly available or what I might read in a newspaper article about one segment of what's going on, I might say the wrong thing. So I know we're being vague here, but just understand it happens. It applies to you because you were involved with a lawsuit, and there's some things that you can't talk about. And we made it very clear, at least we did before we went live, that if I asked a question that just happened to be something you can't talk about, you can say, I don't want to talk about that, and we'll move on. I'm not going to question you. I'm not going to pressure you to do it, because if you did, you'll get in trouble. So we don't want to do that. And that extends to other people. So just wanted to put that out there. Hopefully it's not too vague and people get it. But what is it? Wait,
Crow and I are working on some stuff. Yes. Okay. And quickly, the lawsuit is over. We did win.
Yay.
Some technicalities that happen. And to be quite honest, I really do wish that it would have went all the way. So everything could be out there.
Okay.
Because there are some things where you're like, oh my God. But that's done and over with. And guys, I'm never going to tell you not to go to any location. And if anybody wants to go to the Haunted Hill House, I encourage you to come up with your own conclusion. It is a cool location. Mineral Wells is really cool. There's, like all kinds of mom and pop shops, good restaurants, stuff like that. Go check it out.
Right. I mean, I feel the same way. Like, just because somebody else wrote about a location and maybe they debunked everything and it's still going, I wouldn't mind visiting if the opportunity presented itself. Like if somebody said, hey, I have an extra space here, I'll give it to you at like a discounted rate because I'm a cheap bastard. So if I get a discount, I'll take it. And even if I don't like the place or I think it's completely staged, yeah, I'll go because I want to go. I want to see it for myself. If I can get a closer look at something, hell yeah, I'm going to do it. So, all right. And I also say, like, I made this announcement the other day too. I talked about it a little. I did a members only live yesterday. I was talking about it a little bit. I have been talking to Crow, and like he's recovering. He's resting right now. He had some health issues, so he's taking care of those. That's why he hasn't done anything in a while, or you won't see him online for a little bit. But he is doing okay. He is doing well. Like I said, we had a nice long conversation last night, and so yeah, he's doing all right. And once he bounces back from this, which he will, he's got. I know I have stuff that I need to work with him with, and I know Joe's going to work with him again in the future, and he'll be part of it. So he'll be out there again. Don't worry about it.
I knew what was going on with Crow. I just never said anything. So
yeah, I it comes up, and I want to make sure without getting into his personal business, just letting everyone know, like, look, he's cool. Good. He's okay. He's taking care of himself. That's all we need to know. All right. So Joe, you hang out for a little bit. I'm going to play the outro, and we will see everyone else. I think we're good to go next week. Let me make sure on my calendar, see if there's any announcements I want to make. Yeah, we're good to go next week. We don't have a guest yet, but then again, I didn't have a guest for tonight until like I was sitting at the bar and I'm like, hey, let me ask Joe if he's available.
Hey, let's see if Joe can save the stream. No.
I will say that if anyone is interested, we do have SciCon coming up June 11th to 14th, and there's a lot of good stuff going on. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. The conference is here in Buffalo, New York. You're going to have the opportunity to tour the CFI Center, the Center for Inquiry Center, with me and Tim Binga, who is Obscure Reference Man in the comments. We're going to give tours. We're going to show you everything that's going on. There might be an added surprise at the end, like where you get the first peek at something special that we've been working on for way too long of a time.
That sounds like some OnlyFans stuff. Keep going.
I know, right? No feet involved. And then there's plenty of speakers. We have Bill Nye. That's the keynote, I think. Anything else you can add?
I'll just say that tours will sell out. So if you're interested in coming, sign up soon.
Eric behind the wall is one of the guys in charge of the entire thing. So we have an inside track with him. But yes, we did sell out the first tour, right?
Indeed. Yeah.
So we had a morning tour that's already sold out. And the second tour was added because we have a bunch of people that were interested, which is great because that makes me feel good because that's my workshop. That's my participation in the SciCon. So, but other than that, we got some stuff going on. I did finish up, everyone. I want to let you know, like I kept saying that I was busy doing 2 major projects and I haven't been able to do anything. That's why I haven't put like a standalone video out or an article out in some time. But I'm happy to say that project number 1 is completed. That was completed last week. And then major project number 2 was completed yesterday. So I am done with those and I can get back on my regular schedule and start pumping out articles and videos again. So I'm so happy. Anyway, after I go to a thrift store because I need to get my yard sale kind of flea market thing fixed because I haven't done that in a while. Anyway, so Joe, stick around till after the outro. Everyone else, have a great weekend. And remember, never stop learning. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Hey diddle diddle, here's a little riddle. Who's the best debunker? Is it Kenny Biddle? Oh, he's good, not just a little. Not at the bottom or even the middle. Strike a chord like a fiddle. Tasting the rainbow like a skittle. That's fragile and brittle. You can watch him take a problem and start to riddle the problem away. He does not play. He takes his job so seriously. He loves a challenge and won't turn you away. He's such a skeptic, he keeps stones believers exposing the fake. It wouldn't take him long to find a needle in hay. Use a magnet and get it. Now take a drink of Kenny's specialty. Someone may say that's not for me. To each their own, will be. And Kenny's such a skeptic, drinking skeptical tea. Like and subscribe, everybody turn notifications on. And go watch his show and forget about this song. Mr. Wizard or Bill Nye the Science Guy, can you remember? You like Kenny better, so head to the Skeptical Help Bar and meet the bartender. Pick up a drink and relax, cause nobody does this better. Not even close, not even a little. He's the one and only Kenny Biddle.
Now we return you to our regular scheduled program, In Progress.